What's good, everyone? This is your man Z, and welcome to new episode of Passport to the Pros. Like we promised you before, we're gonna try to cover multiple points, multiple perspective of the game, keep adding knowledge, experience, story for you, to get the best out of the podcast and talk about our beloved game, basketball for sure. Again, and always, I like to welcome my friend, my teammate. Sometimes I play against him, but I like to call him teammate. And our producer, Mike. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be back. We've had a few good episodes over the last few weeks. We had Kevin Greavy. We
Right.
spoke to David Dixon. So if you missed those episodes, please check them out. Today, we want to work on getting some of your insights and make sure we're hearing from you about a lot of these topics that a lot of our viewers have been asking about. So yeah, I'm excited for this episode.
Right. You told me you have a very important and interesting topic. Not a lot of people talk about it. So I think it fit our theme of the show of talking about international basketball and again put it together with the NBA and playing here in the state. So do you want to go ahead and let people know what we're on?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it because we're always talking to people who have made the jump, players that have gone from the U.S. abroad. We're going to be talking to people that have come from abroad and played in the U.S. and the NBA. And I
Sure.
think it's an important topic to highlight what are the actual rule differences that impact pace of play, um, that impact fatigue for players. There's a lot of these aspects of the game that I think players have to factor in and consider, and even just know about. When you're actually watching FIBA basketball versus the NBA. So I figured we'd get to it and start off with the first thing, which is just the duration of the game. Can you tell us what is the difference in the duration on FIBA versus the NBA and US?
Right. Well, like you mentioned, for the regular fan, it's good to know that basketball play a little bit differently across the world. Overseas is more like FIBA. All the rules are the same, but when you come to the state, it's like completely different level. So for a regular fan, it's good to know. But for the people who play the game, for some of our listener and subscribers who are already in the game right now, getting contract, getting opportunity to play either overseas or coming from overseas to here, I think those are very good point. And at the end, it's educational. So it's good to know more about the game and see why some players really do very well or the opposite don't do well at all, either when they come here or when they go overseas. So there's multiple points, but like you said, let's go with the beginning of it, like the duration of the quarter. uh in the NBA, it's 12 minutes, so we talking about 48 minutes in total. Why it's 10-minute quarter when we go overseas. People will be like, well, 2 minutes is not much different. It is much different. Uh, Talk about it from coaching perspective. Most of the coaches, which is not a lot of people know, I was surprised about that, but a lot of coaches count their positions or part of their stats to know, like tonight I'm hoping to get 50 position. So if I'm having an extra 2 minute, that's an extra one or two position. And if you notice in the NBA, a lot of teams in the last 50 seconds, they say go 2 for 1. That means get a quick position, let the other team come so I finish the quarter with the ball in my hand. As a player, we don't usually see this, but once you start to play on that high level, you'll be like, well, if I'm having a 50 position, let's say this game, if there is a way to make it 52 position, I have two more chances to score more. And that, trust me, add a lot at the end of the game. Also for players, if I know I'm playing 48 minutes, I'll watch out my base, how to go, like where to go like hard, when this is the time when I need to be saving myself. Like if I know I'm playing the last 7 minutes of the game, I gotta be the whole game keeping that in mind, that I still have the most important 7 minutes. And vice versa for a role player, if I know the quarter is longer and I need to cover for someone, or at least those are my moments, my minutes, let's say, you will plan it way better. So it makes it different. And keep in mind, it's not a game or two. So when you come to play here, you're playing 82 games. So you can do the math. If every game is an 8 minute extra for 82 games, you have to be at the physical shape to play a lot more minute than you usually play. And that for sure affect the timeout, affect everything else. But I think that's a good point to start. That not a lot of people think it makes it different between 10 minutes and 12, but it does. It does make a huge difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, and it's definitely something that people have to factor in for fatigue for players, um, and I guess is that something you think you see though when like let's say the in the Olympics when the U.S. team goes and plays, um, you would think they maybe have a little bit of an advantage there just because they are used to those longer games.
It does, of course, but it's again uh, multiple factors. Like our players or the American players, when they go play in the Olympics or play overseas, yeah, they probably have the more stamina to play longer time, but the court is smaller, for example. The spacing, which is going to talk about, it's way tighter. It's like take them back to play college game, which is, it take you time to leave college and start to adapt to being in the NBA. Now I'm taking you back to college. And actually, I think that's what made Coach K is very good when he was with the U.S. national team, because he know the game on like, let's say, college level. So he understand the spacing better. So, and he's the best of dealing with stars. So he put the stars again to fit into smaller court at different times, smaller. If you are an NBA player like Kobe at that time, playing the whole time, bring you here to play smaller court, shorter time, that's an adjustment. But yeah, yeah, that's definitely effect.
No, I think that's definitely a good segue. So the size of the court. So let's just go cover dimensions right now. There's court
Oh,
size and 3 point line. Why don't you take each one of those?
uh, definitely the 3 point line is a little bit farther, and people think
And
it's harder. It is a little bit hard when you. Definitely, it's. Did I lose connection for a second?
you did, you did.
You
No,
did.
you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
All right. Uh, 3 point line is a little bit farther. And yes, if your whole life playing in Europe or playing, FIBA, and now coming to different spacing and different, like, 3 point line is a little bit farther. It's an adjustment, but it's way, way more than just is a little bit farther, because that also changed the spacing of the court. Like if I'm at the 3 point line, the defense has to come way closer to me. So that made the spacing even better. That meaning two dribble, if I can beat you, if I'm a good shooter and hit 2 3 point shot, like I'm a risk now. So you're gonna come very like aggressively for the closeout. And now I can take a dribble. Now the court is wide open. And remember, adding, which is, I don't want to be ahead of myself, adding also the 3 seconds defense and offense with the spacing, that changed the whole game. I think that absolutely make the game completely different. Because think about it this way. That's why sometimes players like Luca tell you, oh, it's easier to score in the NBA. And people went crazy. Like, what you're talking about here, it's easier to score because they don't play defense. No, no, it's just a completely different. Because if I'm a good shooter, I made one or two shots, you're gonna have to get closer to me. If I beat you with one or two dribble, the whole court is open for me now. Anybody trying to come to help, that's an easy alley. They don't come and help, I'm going to take the floater. They come to help and they cover for the alley oop, I'm kicking a 3 point shot. So for defense, it's way harder, but for offense, it's way easier. And vice versa, when you play here the whole time, and that's what happened in Olympics, and they go play over there, you beat your man with your dribble, you do your move, you go to basket, you have three people waiting for you. There is no 3 seconds on defense. The court is smaller. Already the 3 point line is like shrinked a little bit. So your option is way, way more limited and actually more physical, because I'm going to three people right now instead of having the whole paint open up for me. So it's absolutely an adjustment. That's why we see some players in the national team when they go play in FIBA, they like to shoot farther. which is they start to be like, okay, this is my range. I'll keep it the same way. Let the defense come to me and force him to cover more space on the court. Um, and actually, that's a good example. That's why you see player like Carmelo Anthony or KD, they do very well when they play with the national team because they don't need much dribbles. Like they say Melo is one of the ultimate phone booth guys. He doesn't need dribble. You just put him in the phone booth, he's good to go. He just do his footwork. He doesn't need space. Same like Dirk Nowitzki. So those players do very well when they play in FIBA because they already don't need much space. And shooters do very well also there, like Steph Curry for sure, or all the other shooters. Because now I don't have to depends on my physicality and how much I go and penetrate. I spot on spots for shooting, and worst case scenario, just give me the ball and just clear it up. And if you remember in the Olympic, I think in the semifinal, we were like US were having a lot of trouble, and KD saved the day just because he didn't need any dribble. Pass him the ball, he's gonna knock out the shot or play mismatch with his guy. So it depends on the way you play the game. It's gonna affect a lot if you play on a smaller shrink court or way more space. Sorry, that was too much, but I
No,
want
it
to
was
cover all the
good. No, no,
points.
I want to dive into it. I guess um, for the players out there who, let's not say we're NBA, but just like making the transition from the US to international FIBA rules, court sizes, etc. Which types of players have an advantage, and which of the players are at a disadvantage?
You mean both ways?
Yeah, well, let's just say going from the US to FIBA.
I would say player who play long period of time overseas, it would be a little bit easier for them when they come here because when you play in a very tight space, and now I'm just giving you all the space, that's automatically and a plus, and vice versa. But at the same time, there's players who they cannot take advantage of this. Like I remember back in the days, Navarro, if you remember, he played for Barcelona for a little bit, he played for Memphis. um, he was doing good shooting wise. Anytime he get the shot, he know how to take a quick shot because that's how he played in Europe. So that served him very, very well. But then when he started to go into penetration and he have that much space, he's not used to it. He didn't really like it. So he started to head back and went back to Barcelona again. But player like Luca, who did very decent when he was in Real Madrid, he came here, he's scoring 60 and 70 every night. So it's easier when you come here, and it's a little bit harder when you leave a lot of space and go play overseas. But I would say it depends on your position and your game. It would affect. Like if you are a big guy who shoot three, I think you can survive anywhere you go. That's the trick. Because right now, let's be honest, basketball is all about shooting. So if you have a little size and you can shoot the ball, it's perfect. But now for the guards like us, where I'm always used to, do moves, beat my man to the paint, now it's not fun anymore. Because either I'm going like in the space where like I don't know what to do, or it's like too much crowd. So I think for guards it's a little bit tougher, but I remember one of my teammate, he was always say that was his move. He always like once you beat your man in a dribble, just hold there for a second. See if you can take a quick shot or not. Because that also will give a pause for the defense and you will see how they react. And that's why if you notice they always say for the players who come to the NBA new, they need a time to let the game come to them. That half a second pause there, it's not easy to do while you're playing the game. But if you learn how to control your pace and, now I beat my man, but then it's slow again, let's see what's going on. Those players who can, control their speed, they will do much better in that environment. I hope that answered your question, though.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Um, all right, one more that is different is the goaltending rule. Can you break down the goaltending rules for us? The difference between
Yeah.
goaltending in the U.S. versus
So here in the US, as long as the ball is within the rim space, you cannot touch it. Like even if it touched the rim and it's it's bouncing, but it didn't go outside of the rim, you cannot bring it back. And that's why the call is like when the referees call it, they do like this because it didn't go outside of the space of the rim. While when you go to Europe or you play in FIBA, uh, as long as it hit the rim, you can do whatever you want. So if just hit the rim 1 second, you just like kick it out, or you can just tip it back in. And I think we all remember when the U.S. team was playing in the Olympics. Every time it happened, like Spain would kick the ball out, and they go crazy, like, "Oh, they cannot do this! They cannot do this!" Well, yes, they do. It's just a different regulation, and I think Dwight Howard was one of the players who recognized the difference right away, and he was just killing overseas, like even with the Olympics, because he can be all over the rim anytime he wants. So anytime the ball hit the rim, he's just kicking this out right and left, and it makes difference, especially on free throws, because a lot of time people wait on the free throw to keep hitting the rim and finish and all that before you touch it. No, now as long as the shot like hit the rim, you can just kick it out right away, and it makes a huge difference too. A lot of people will be surprised, like, is those small things make a huge difference? It does. It does. The game is completely different. Basketball or basketball player, they count a lot on muscle memory. Most of the things we do in the game, we do because we did it a million times before in the practice on a daily basis. So if one thing goes off, your muscle memory is not working like it used to. So that change your shot. The ball is different too. We didn't talk about this. The ball is also different. Between the ball you play in FIBA and the ball you play here is completely different, and that's why USA team always go for 2 weeks or actually more than a month uh, camp before the Olympics, and they don't touch any NBA ball. They only touch the FIBA ball just to get used to it. Kobe used to work all summer with the FIBA ball to get used to it. I mean, Kobe, of course, he would do such a thing. But some players who know, like this summer, I'm playing, Olympics or I'm doing something. They go all summer workout with the other ball because it also make different, more slippery, different feeling of the ball, different brand completely. So, which is another thing.
When you think about when you were playing abroad and like some of our friends of the show, Chad and Ryan, and when they came to Syria, do you remember the types of adjustments that they sort of had to go through when they arrived, and how did they deal with that?
I think for like if we talk about the specific names you mentioned, uh, especially for someone like Chad, his game, the way he played the game, the rules complement his game. He didn't need again much space. He's more like big guard, so things was already like he have a lot of advantage. I think if anything they had to get used to is more the goaltending rule because that's like always new to everyone. And I think more of the environment outside the court, outside more, because remember those people play more college before they go overseas, so they were already in the same mindset and the same way of playing games. Because remember when you play college, it's just like FIBA. It's more about system. It's more about plays and more about ball movement. The faster you move the ball, swing it from side to another. It's not the same thing with the NBA. NBA depends on individual skills more. Everything you do, the plays, is to end up with either pick and roll between your best two players or to put the ball in your best player hand and give him the space. So it's a completely different thing, which is something I suffer from because when I came here, I came more like moving the ball quickly, just want to like not keep the ball in my hands a lot. And it didn't show my character. It shows like I'm just a regular role player, which is, it's everywhere. So for people like Chad and Ryan, coming out of college, did some NBA stuff, but mostly college experience was more. Those people, they didn't feel much of a difference. It was easier for them to adapt. But I would definitely say more people when they come here with when they get lost. Like I remember when I came here, like the first season, I would say the first especially like 10 games. every time I'm on the court, like you get called like 3 seconds violation, 3 seconds violation. And the coach just go crazy and my teammate was like, come on, man, like are we gonna keep doing this all season? But then you learn it the hard way because once you learn I can't be here and I have to be quick, you get dunked on a couple times and you'll be like, oh, I know how what to do now. I can't be here. So it's harder when you come this way than going the other way.
It's interesting. I mean, so I guess building on that a little bit. So yeah, we've been covering the rules, but I think it's also, as you mentioned, to talk about the strategy, and how coaches approach game plans and scoring strategies, defense as well. I think that's important. So um, why don't we start with defense? Yeah, someone coming from abroad to the U.S. Um, how is defense set up, and what sort of adjustments do international players have to make?
I think international players, when it comes to defense, they have a huge advantage. We are type of player who are used to pick up someone full court or at least three quarter. We are naturally European player are more aggressive on defense, so that's why you see the pressure on the ball the whole time, similar to college. Um, so when you come here, I think you should capitalize on being aggressive defensively because that's when you are different than anybody else because most people who play in the state learn because you're playing against high skilled player, you learn how to leave a space, like if you're guarding Kevin Durant or anybody like this, you want to leave space. You're like, I'm not gonna like be so close to him because he can beat me easily. But also that creates some type of like relax on defense. That's why when you watch NBA game, it's more like slow pace until they get to like faster break or like something like this and then switch the speed right away. But if you watch like more FIBA game, you're picking up your man almost full court. You denying the ball if you are the first person close to the ball. If you are not weak side, you always in a position where to see everything. But I think for international player, defense is a huge uh, plus for them, except the 3 seconds violation of defensive 3 seconds. Because we are used to play 3 seconds offense, but not 3 seconds on a defense. And so a little bit bad timing will put you in a very bad position because by the time you cover the space, like I said, you'll be dunked on or you'll be like, just forget about it. Uh, but other than that, I think that's what makes international players attractive right now to coaches. That I can tell you, go guard this guy like for the next 15 minutes. I don't want him to get the ball. International player don't have problem with this. And the same when you go play overseas, it's way more physical. So most international player when they come here, they still with that physical type of game, you might get into foul trouble. So that's something you should keep in mind. In Euro game, it's there's a lot of like touch and pushes and those small things because it's crowded. So it's
Mm.
hard for referees to see what's going on in the crowd. But in the NBA, it's obvious, and you got three referees watching everything along with the cameras, and now they have all this technology, and they talk to themselves now. I mean, between each other. So I think that's tough. It will easy to be called foul on you in the NBA because also rules of the NBA right now, which is I like to bring those points because people don't see it because we're regular fans, but when you see it from the NBA perspective, it makes sense for you. For the NBA, those players are very valuable. Like each player is like 150 million contract. People come from everywhere to watch these players play. So most of the rules are made to protect the players. Like now, you
Mhm.
see, if you are shooting 3 point, you gotta give the shooter his space. You cannot land, cover the landing area for the player so he can land safely. In the paint, same thing. So to protect those players, rules are more strict right now. So for someone coming from overseas, coming from Europe, coming here to play very aggressively, uh, right away you'll be like three calls on you right away. You just came in. So between the fouls and between the spacing, the timing, I think that's the only thing about international players is a little bit tough. But other than that, defense on I like to say on our side as international players.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't really think about how the games are called versus the two between the two locations. You're right, and because
Hmm.
of the spacing, definitely there's got to be just there's just going to be more contact.
Right.
Especially the key because there's just not nowhere to go. It's just a much more crowded
Exactly.
space. That's
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
no. It changed the game. Like it looked the same on TV, but on the court, like either you are a player or a coach or anybody of the staff, like your job is different right now. Your job is completely different.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, okay, so we covered the court size, makes it more crowded, and also impacts foul calls, and then a
Mm.
lot more contact in the international game. We covered 3 point line, obviously an advantage for long shooters, but still an adjustment. Um, we covered the goaltending side, and I was thinking how that really impacts your approach to rebounding because
Hmm.
you're not necessarily even going for the ball a lot of these times. You're actually going just to swap it. So like
Right.
you
Right.
don't have to be in as much of a position to rebound as you would than just trying to get up there and fighting for it.
100%. 100%. You're a big guy, so you notice this right away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still not today, but yeah, it might have impacted me few decades ago.
Never
Let's
too late. Never too late.
never too late.
Well, I would say,
Um,
between all of these, the 3 seconds violation, defense and offense, that what makes like that's the big deal. That's
mhm,
something you need not not only get used to, you need to work on. Because at the end, basketball nowadays is numbers, is stats, is everything. So it's not just a regular sport. It's more like a chess game.
mhm,
I move this here so you can come here, so this player can be here, so this other defender can be here, so I get a wide open shot. It's not gonna happen where, like, oh, like back in the days, drive, kick, set a screen, roll. No, it's now I know the court, I know where they should be, and that's what good player does. I remember someone was talking about Kobe, and he was saying, like, I saw him watching the same clip for straight 2 days, and I'm like, what the hell in this clip he's watching for the like last 2 days? But it's not about the clip. It's about to see how all the players position and how they move and what. Because at the end, I know your coach told you something. Like I know your coach told you to cover the corner 3 points. So I know if a drive from here, you're not gonna. You might try to fake that you want to guard me, but you're not gonna really guard me because your coach told you to stick with the shooter. So once you learn and you start to read what's going on, it's a chess game like that. Like even I bring Kobe a lot because he's one of the best who study the game. He once said, like, I'll let you know, like, this is my go-to move and make you expect it every time. Then when we go there, I'll change it. So you have no chance to guard me. So it's more, the more you study the game, the more details you know about the game, it's easier for you to study it. So if I know as a defender, like you cannot be here for 3 seconds, and I'm looking at you and I see you like, coming in and out. The moment you come in again, that's what I'm attacking. Because I know you're gonna be there down when I'm attacking, and that's the end one. Because remember, also in the NBA, we have that under the rim, that little circle. You cannot be under the
mhm,
rim. And in Europe, you can just stand under the rim. But in the NBA, you have that little circle. You cannot be there, or it's an and one on you. It's a dunk and one on you. So the more details you know about the game, the more like little things, and you plan your game to make the other defender be in the wrong place at the wrong time because that's what I'm getting my points. So yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane how small details will make it completely different. And keep in mind, we're not talking coaching; we're talking players. But
mhm,
human being nature, uh, things happen to you twice, you'll be like, okay, I'm not going there anymore. Like a lot of players go there twice for a certain position to see, are you gonna double team me? And what type of double team you're gonna do? And one thing a lot of people don't know about too a lot of coaches do completely different plays during the regular season and keep plays for the playoffs because they know other teams watching and doing their homework. So be like, well, let's try how to do this. Let's try how to do this. So when we play against you in the playoff, we are prepared to give you something new. Because also, part of the staff work is to know who most likely I'll be playing in the playoff first round or second round or whatever this year. Okay, I'm playing against Mike. I know what he does. That's his, scouting report. This is how we're gonna guard him. We're not gonna do it during the regular season, so he doesn't do any adjustment to it. But we're gonna guard him in a certain way, let him get used to it, and in the playoff, we'll guard you completely different way. And you will see that with Luca. You've seen a lot of Lakers game, and you see how all teams guard Luca in a certain way. Remember my word. Once the playoff hit, you will see completely different type of coverage. You will see more double team, more push him to the sideline to have two double team and a sideline as a third player. There's a lot of those small things coaches will keep it, but Luca also smart. That's the game right now. He doesn't do all the stuff he does during the regular season because he needs some stuff in the playoff. And they say the devil in the details. So the more you get into details, the more you're a step ahead for your defender with the whole team.
Well, it's going to be fun. Yeah, I think we got a few episodes going to come up as the playoffs are starting. Um, Maybe we do a little bit of predictions, but
Who you're
also, yeah.
excited to watch? Who you're excited about?
Well, I'm a Warriors fan, so I'm sort of dreading this year. I don't know. It feels like 3 or 4 since the championship that they're just scratching to get into the play-in. Even if they get in, what's waiting for them at the end of the rainbow is OKC or you know. So I'm not too excited about that. I'm excited to see the Knicks how they do. I'd like to see how they've developed over the last few years, and making deep runs. Um, Really excited to see how San Antonio is going to play. I mean,
Man, San
this is it,
Antonio,
man.
fun to watch.
This is Wemby's uh, first first night at the what is that expression? First dance, basically.
Uh-huh.
So we really
Uh-huh.
get a chance to see how he performs under pressure. Um, I hope he doesn't get injured, honestly, because like that would just be terrible. But
That would
um,
ruin the whole thing. Yeah, I
that would
agree.
ruin it.
I
But
agree.
definitely excited about OKC as well. See if they're able to repeat. I think that's what we're all waiting for, right? The ultimate matchup is OKC San Antonio. Like that's if we want
Yeah,
good
yeah.
basketball, I think that will be the final. You know what I mean? We'll see who comes out of the East, but I think as terms of the best series, if we get it, that would be it.
That would be it. Yeah, I agree. The Spurs, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they are so fun to watch. For all these years, we never thought the Spurs is like that much of like, different. They play different game. They had a lot of international players. And they played the right way. Their coach back in the days, Popovich was just an amazing person. And one thing for everybody to know when we did work with the NBA, first thing you learn that the number one franchise that everybody go to for any question is the Spurs. You'll be surprised, like why the Spurs? People think, oh, maybe the Lakers or maybe the Celtics. No, actually, the Spurs is like one of the most respected organization in the league. Like even other teams, if they have any problem or they have something they never faced before, they will reach out and how ask them how they deal with it. And I think it started from the front office, their general manager. I we were in a couple of his lectures. He's very open-minded person, and with Popovich was the rule was like every opinion is a valuable opinion. So if you are in the front office meeting, no matter who you are, no matter what your position, if you have an idea, that idea is valid, and we're gonna take it seriously, and we might try it out and vote for it. And if it work, we will adopt it for the rest of the season. So I think that's why I think also you see a lot of coaches who started at the beginning with the Spurs being assistant coaches. They do very well as head coaches right now. What's his name? The Boston Celtics coach when he was before.
Yeah, Travels a little.
their coach right now. A lot of people been in the Spurs coaching staff, and then when they go, they coach their own team. You just see it. You just see the culture. You just see the mentality. Um, so to see them where they are right now, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, the team is very young. They have multiple player in multiple positions. Not a lot of fantasy names, but a lot of fantasy plays. You know, so they doing very well together. Uh, I would love to watch him playing this playoff. Like they're gonna be my for sure. I'm a Lakers fan, but I would love to watch the Spurs for this playoff. Like you said, just injuries. I hope they don't get injured.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be good playoffs. All right, Z, I think we're that's it for time, but we've got a few episodes coming up. Definitely going to have a roundtable with you, Ryan, and Chad. Maybe a preview, sort of talking over what's going to happen in the playoffs and predictions, but hopefully we can get that in for next week.
Yeah, can't wait. And please, for everyone who's listening to us, either you're a fan or a player or even coach, if you have any questions, if you have things in mind you want to add, maybe we missed, or a few things you would like to know more about, feel free to reach out to us. That one makes it more fun is when we answer your questions or you teach us something new also. So for everyone, please, you know how where to find us, you know how to reach out to us. Don't hesitate. Let's make it more fun.
Absolutely. The more interaction, the better. And please check out our YouTube page where we're posting all of our shorts and all of our full episodes, full video episodes, and also sort of breakouts of individual clips from everything. So until next time, Z, good to see you. We'll see you in the next one.
Mike, thank you.